Stop protecting yourself from disappointment by staying confused. The confusion perhaps isn't keeping you safe, it's keeping you stuck. I spent almost half of my life forcing myself to love a job that never gave me real pleasure, telling myself that I didn't know what I wanted when I absolutely did. Hi, I'm Maria, welcome back to my channel. I used to be one of the many people that didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I just knew what I didn't want. And now that I think about it, I was lying. Not intentionally, but I was lying to myself. I know this because I spent 17 years telling myself the exact same lie, while I slowly died inside working in healthcare. I convinced myself that I was confused when really I was just scared. I remember being told that healthcare and working for the government were the smart choices, stable, respectable, good money. So I chose healthcare and worked for the government for 17 years. And you know what that stability got me? I couldn't afford to buy a house. The housing crisis hit, costs went crazy, and my miserable salary couldn't keep up. I only got my first car when I was 37 years old, while everyone around me who didn't work in healthcare and didn't work in Lisbon was hitting normal life milestones. I was barely surviving. The whole time people would say, "Oh, you're so lucky to have a job security and to work for the government." Lucky? I was dying a slow death for the sake of social approval and a paycheck that barely covered my bills. And I'm not even someone who spends a lot of money. I don't have big luxuries. The only thing that I didn't deprive myself of was dining out occasionally and traveling on vacation. Admitting out loud that it wasn't enough for me to stay in that kind of life, it felt like I was being selfish, unrealistic, or even irresponsible. So I convinced myself that maybe I was too old to start over, that I couldn't make a living doing what interested me. I told lies to myself to avoid taking risks. If you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing my channel. Give it a thumbs up and share it with friends or family. Now, let's get back to the video. I even remember a friend that quit her stable job and embraced the new life, asking me honestly what I wanted for my life. And I was incredibly uncomfortable with that question. It was so rare for me to have that kind of conversation, so I was nervous, uncomfortable, and I ended up answering with what I didn't want instead. Then I quickly changed the subject. But that question stayed with me. It planted a seed that I couldn't ignore anymore. I looked at my life and had this moment of clarity. Society had completely taken advantage of my uncertainty. Deep down, when I was alone, I knew exactly what drew my attention. I wanted freedom, I wanted to travel, I wanted to create something meaningful, and most of all, I wanted to wake up peaceful about my day instead of counting hours until I could leave work. Instead of paying attention to what I was naturally drawn to, I dismissed it as a daydreaming. I told myself those weren't real options for someone like me. I think this happens to a lot of people. They say they don't know what they want, but they actually do. They are just avoiding admitting it because what they want requires disappointing people or starting over and taking risks. Your parents want you to be safe, your friends expect you to stay the same, society wants you to be predictable and productive. And when you feel confused, the system loves it because it needs people to stay in jobs they hate while convincing themselves they don't have alternatives. That's how it keeps functioning. So when what you want doesn't fit those expectations, it's easier to say that you are confused than to deal with the conflict. There's already a conflict and you are already disappointing someone. You are disappointing yourself every day. I know that because I did it too. So maybe it's time to pay attention to what you do when you have free time and no agenda. If money wasn't an issue, if you didn't have to worry about paying bills, in a perfect world, if nobody else's opinion mattered, what would you love to be doing with your life? What makes you lose track of time? What makes you envious when you see other people doing it? because that's real information about what really matters to you. But you have to be willing to take it seriously instead of dismissing it as impractical. You can pick one thing that genuinely interests you and explore it, not to turn it into a career immediately, but to see if it energizes you or if it bores you when you engage with it. I started making macrame, I started meditating, writing meditations, and making videos about personal growth and questioning social expectations, not because I had a business plan, but because these were topics that I liked. And most of what you think you want will turn out to be fantasy when you actually try it. But some of it will surprise you with how much you care about it. You won't know which is which until you test it in reality, instead of just thinking about it. At the end of this video, I want to tell you that you might not know the exact path, but you know what direction feels alive and what direction feels dead. Stop protecting yourself from disappointment by staying confused. The confusion perhaps isn't keeping you safe, it's keeping you stuck. I spent almost half of my life forcing myself to love a job that never gave me real pleasure, telling myself that I didn't know what I wanted when I absolutely did. It's time to stop waiting for permission to live your life and make decisions. Not because you have a perfect plan, but finally you have the courage to admit and decide that you want a different life and try something new. Thank you for listening. I'll see you soon. I only got my first car when I was 17 years. When you are confused, this is system. Not to turn it into a career immediately, but to see, not to turn it. Most of the things that you think you will turn out, not because you have a perfect plan, but admitting out loud needs people to stay in their jobs while they'll die a slow death. The system, what is it?